And press on that like button, subscribe to see more videos of that kind. We're looking at PCs ranging from $500 to $2,000. So it's gonna be a pretty long video. Timestamps will be down below if you're looking for a specific PC. So first up, the $500 PC. I feel like the CPU of choice should have to be the Ryzen 5 5500. This CPU goes for $90 right now with the cooler included, so it's a pretty good price when it comes to the Amazon pricing. I feel like it brings out really good value for money compared to an i3 13th gen or 14th gen CPUs. Yeah, it gets the best of both worlds, you know, the good value of Ryzen 5 3600 and the great performance or an equivalent closer performance to something like an i5 12400F or a Ryzen 5 5600. It's not the same, but it's joint there in terms of performance. And this is what you need for a $500 PC. The board, you can have the cheapest one you could find if you're Amazon, then A520M. If you are on AliExpress, you can find one for like $60. It depends on the budget actually. Maybe you should go with 16 gigs for gaming. That's actually, it's a budget PC, so why not? The SSD, 512GB SSD M.2 of course, but not Gen 4 because some boards will not support Gen 4 SSDs on M4 platform. And the case is a Q300L. The power supply is a 500 watt one for around $40 from Ares Game, for example. You can have an RX 6600M, which is a really cheap GPU that is like one of the best value for money GPUs right now. 8GB GPU, comparable to even something like an RTX 3060 in terms of performance, so that gives you an idea of how good this GPU is. Or you can go with the bigger brother being the RX 6650 XT. It's on sale right now for like $200 to $230. So I feel like this kind of makes a lot of sense if you want a PC of that sort. And I feel like, yeah, it gets the job done. Now, when it comes to the $700 PC, and this is one of the most famous budget PCs in general, I would have to make the jump to an AM5 platform. So we're going with a 7500F from AliExpress for like $165. And I've made a ton of videos talking about how good this CPU is when it comes to the performance that it provides and the future proofing and all of that. So we're not gonna dive into that. The board, we have to go with B650M because you need that for the future proofing. 16 gigs of RAM because this is DDR5, so it's more expensive. I believe 512GB M.2 SSD too. We're not gonna jump to 1TB yet, but if you want to, you can do so. And when it comes to the case, the Q300L seems to be more than sufficient for me, but again, I'll leave that to you on your budget. But when it comes to the GPU, which is the most important thing, you have two options actually in a different sites. You can go with the 6700 XT brand new, but this would put the budget to like $750. Or you can get it from AliExpress for $265, and I feel like this is a steal because the 6700 XT is one of the best value for money GPUs of all time for now, for under $300. So you should not sleep on that. Or you can get an RTX 4060 brand new, and you're getting there the best of both worlds. You're getting really good 1080p performance, and on top of that, you are getting the ray tracing capabilities and NVIDIA encoder. If you're a streamer, if you do esports, I feel like going with NVIDIA is the way to go. But if you want the sheer performance, I will go with 6700 XT any time of the day. But if you want to jump to the $1,000 budget, you have actually two ways. You can go the Intel and NVIDIA, or Ryzen and AMD. The Intel and NVIDIA being the i5 12600K B760M, I believe 32GB of DDR4 RAM, and going with something like an RTX 4070 Super. So yeah, the aim of this PC is to get the best of both worlds. So you're getting really good gaming performance at 1440p, and you're getting really good core count when it comes to the performance that you're anticipating. It will not bottleneck your GPU that much, but if you want the absolute performance and you didn't care that much, you can go with a 7500F and you can go with an RX 7800 XT. But you'll make the jump to 32 gigs of RAM and a 1TB SSD. So I feel like the Ryzen AMD, all AMD system is so good. But if you really need that NVIDIA features, you can make the jump and upgrade to a 4670 Super, and this will put you at a really good spot. Now when it comes to the $1,300 budget gaming PC, I feel like you should actually take a look at that. So we're going with a 7500F, a better case, better power supply, 32 gigs of RAM, but we will change the GPU to a 7900 XT, and this is an honorable mention to the 7900 XT being one of the best GPUs in the market right now when it comes to 1440p gaming. It's really up there with something like a 4070 Ti Super, so you should never worry about that. If you want a PC for around $1,300 that gives you the best performance, I feel like this is the GPU to discuss, or the GPU to put on the $1,500 gaming experience. You have the Ryzen 7 7700 RTX 4070 Ti Super gaming PC, and it's got all the previous parts from the previous system. So yeah, the Ryzen 7700 is an 8-core 16-threaded CPU that gives you the best performance when it comes to gaming. The 4070 Ti Super gives you the best of both worlds when it comes to 1440p 4K gaming, and it's got the NVIDIA features if you're doing anything next to that when it comes to like 4K or rendering or video editing and anything that's actually related to 3D intensive apps. Now we'll get into the fastest of them all, the 7800X3D RTX 4080 or 480 Super gaming PC. This one goes for $2,000. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got 32 gigs of RAM, DDR5, 6000 MHz. It's got really good cooler. It's got the NZXE H6 Flow RGB, 850 watt power supply, a 2TB Gen 4 SSD. So yeah, the whole piece is actually packed with specs, and this is what you'd expect from a $2,000 PC. And this is the highest end gaming PC you can build right now that gives you the most reasonable performance in the world, in my opinion. So yeah, I feel like this is a really good budget to close off, or a really good PC to close off the whole system. But feel free to downgrade to a 4070 Ti Super if you want the 7800X3D 4070 Ti Super PC. I feel like this is a really complimentary, good gaming PC too. So yeah, I'll leave that to you. That's been it. If you like the video, press on that like button. If you want to see more videos of that, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.